What's going on YouTube? I'm done. Today is Tuesday, February 7th. And I want to do this review yesterday of the movie Knock at the Cabin Door. I went to see it this past weekend. M. Night Shyamalan movie. For those of you all who know M. Night Shyamalan, he's made more recently he's made Old, The Sixth Sense, The Happening, The Woods, and I guess I would say M. Night Shyamalan movies are kind of hit and miss. If you're a fan of them, then you're a fan. If you're not, you're not. And unfortunately, in my opinion, this movie was definitely a miss. So yeah, we can get into it. So the thing about M. Night Shyamalan, I feel like a lot of his movies have a dark theme, or maybe a death motif. So in this movie, we find out it is the apocalypse, kind of the end of days. I feel like in The Happening, it was kind of similar. In that movie, it was more like a plague that was in the air that was, it would kill you if you were outside or something like that. So maybe that's not the apocalypse, but it's kind of maybe something that will happen in the end times. So this movie stars Dave Bautista. As far as WWE wrestlers turned actors go, I think Bautista has really carved out a lane for himself. The Rock is probably still number one, but you know, Bautista has definitely done well with Guardians of the Galaxy, and I think he did a real good job playing Leonard. Him playing this role to such a high level was actually more detrimental to the movie, in my opinion, and I'll tell you why. So the movie starts out, we see Leonard, played by Bautista, and he's in the woods with, and he comes across a little girl. He seems like a very nice guy. He's talking to the girl, and we find out she's there with her parents, who are actually a gay couple that adopted her. There's characters with three other people in the woods, and they invade the home of Eric and Andrew. They begin to tell them that it's the apocalypse, and unless they choose to kill one of their own, the apocalypse will continue. So, of course, I mean, in a normal world, in a normal society, if someone was to come to your house and tell you this, I mean, of course, you would think, okay, these people are crazy. I'm trying to, where's the gun? Let me call the police. Completely understandable. That's what kind of would have made the movie work, because us not knowing who to believe, kind of playing with their dynamic. Like, yeah, these people are crazy, but they are kind of convincing. Versus, the couple at the house is like, they're not believing them, and they're justified in not believing them. And I feel like that's where the movie went wrong. Like I said, Leonard's character, he was so believable that I just didn't. I wasn't convinced that the invaders weren't telling the truth. And I think that fact alone kind of ruined the movie for me. And it kind of made the ending a little predictable. I think Shyamalan, he did do a good job instilling some doubt in us at first, because we find out one of the four invaders was actually someone who had assaulted, I can't remember if it was Andrew or Eric, but they were at a bar, and one of the invaders had assaulted them and went to prison for it. And they were, like labeling it a hate crime against homosexual people. And so when I found that out, I was like, okay, now I'm not sure. You know, maybe these people are crazy. And I think one of the plagues that had happened was something that was pre-recorded on the news, and Leonard was showing them like, you know, look, this is what's happening. This is what's happening in the world, and it was a pre-recording from 4 hours ago. So I feel like those two things alone kind of instill doubt in us, but that was after the fact of the invasion. And you know, I feel like if they really meant them harm, then they just would have harmed them. Yeah, I just wasn't convinced that the invaders weren't telling the truth, so that kind of ruined the movie for me a little bit. Another thing that I predicted pretty early on was that the 4 invaders, including Leonard, were a metaphor, for lack of better words, of the 4 horsemen. So in the Bible, you hear about the 4 horsemen as it relates to the apocalypse, and it was very clear to me that these 4 people were clearly the 4 horsemen, and it was kind of, you know, I wish it was something that I don't think there was a bad idea to use that particular, you know, pull that particular thing from the Bible, the 4 horsemen, but them coming all 4 at the same time, and then saying that what their purpose was, and maybe he wasn't trying to hide it at all. So as the movie goes on, we kind of just see, you know, all these different things taking place. I think at one point in time, planes were falling from the sky, and all sort of other disasters were happening all over the world, and people were dying. And at one point in time, Eric and Andrew realized that, you know, this is really real, and each of the invaders who were representing the 4 horsemen, they were tasked with killing themselves when Eric and Andrew were refusing to make a decision about who would be the one to die. And Eric and Andrew finally came to the conclusion that, you know, this is real. I think it was Andrew was the one who saw the vision and was like, you know, it needs to be me. And the 4 horsemen, they represented malice, nurturing, healing, and Leonard Batista's character was guidance. Y'all gotta forgive me. I can't remember which one is Eric and which one is Andrew, but so one kills the other, and they escape with the child, their adopted child, whose name is Wynn in the movie, and they just kind of go to this diner, and I believe it was Eric who ends up killing Andrew, and Eric and Wynn, they go to a diner, and yeah, it's kind of just, they kind of see everything is kind of evening out, and it's kind of just over, and the movie just kind of ends. Eric and Andrew kind of stop the apocalypse. So yeah, in my opinion, this movie was not Shyamalan's greatest work. I definitely think he has potential as a good filmmaker, and I actually love some of his previous movies, Sixth Sense and Split especially. But you know, the next movie he puts out, I'm definitely gonna be going to the movie theater to see it. I think he's just one of those directors that has the potential to make big blockbuster films. So yeah, that was my review on Knock at the Cabin Door. Alright YouTube, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about the movie Knock at the Cabin Door. Do you think it's M. Night Shyamalan's best? Do you think it's his worst? And yeah, any other thoughts you may have on the movie. Thanks for watching as always. Like, subscribe, and yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Come again. Now what you gonna say when it all comes crashing down? Girl, you're gonna love me. What you gonna do when all your love hits the ground? You gonna love me.
Hey baby, I asked her if she coming over. She said she like me way better when I'm sober. I told her I like it way better when she closer. I'm drinking lean, but she sipping on mimosa.